My name is Barbara Beckley, and I am here, the Coaches Lounge, with a wonderful, wonderful queen. As you know, I always call the lady queens, Lorraine Sanborn. She is, oh my God, you're just going to be just so delighted for this particular conversation. Because I don't want to really call it interviews because it sounds so standard. I like to have relationship building and just talking to one another. So this lady I've been knowing for a while, and I met her through another wonderful queen, Lachelle Atkins, and I'm telling you, networking is powerful. Just to let everybody know before I start, networking is powerful because you get to meet the most interesting, just amazing, wonderful, brilliant people in your life. And Lorraine is one of the queen bees that I call in my life as she came in. So welcome, Lorraine. Welcome to the Coaches Lounge.
Good morning. Oh, I am so excited to be here, Barbara. You're right. Lachelle is an amazing connector, and I'm so glad she connected us. And it's been quite a while now. So, yeah, and I consider you one of my queen favorites.
Oh, I love it. See, this it's about encouraging each other, being each other's world, and helping each other. So today, I'm glad to have you on because I wanted to make sure, and this is one thing, this is my mission, is to make sure people get to know, especially people that are really helping people in their world. Like you, Lorraine, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you do a lot of different things, you're a speaker, but you really have a heart for people, especially people over the age of 50. And I just want to talk a little bit about that with people because I feel like once people know what you do and they can kind of really understand, what your goal is, what your objective is, then people start reaching out more and you'll get more people to, contact you. So let's I'm just going to dig right in, just dig right in. So I know your business is called, I love it, Fabulous Begins at 50. And you are just an example of that. Because when you told me your age, I'm like, I'm still in this like orbit, like, what? Where am I? What world is this? But you're making it so at ease to say, getting older is not like, the normal thing that people used to be like, oh my God, they would be so scared to get to that point. So I just want to kind of ask you, how long have you been, as a health aging mentor and lifestyle specialist, and what really excites you about helping individuals over 50?
I think I want to share a little bit about the why and how I got started, if that's okay, Barbara.
Yes.
So back in 2013, in 2010, my husband passed away. And I had been his primary caregiver for 2 or 3 years prior to his passing away. And I don't know if anybody's been a primary caregiver for your husband, your mom, your dad, whomever, but we put ourselves on the back burner. And I still had, at that point in time, I was doing life insurance and I was out a lot. And my husband had green eyes. And he looked at me one day and he said, home alone again, but it was just, he needed me there, but not 24 hours a day. So in 2013, I had been a widow for a couple of years now, and I really had to look at myself. And I did. And I said, Lorraine, you're 72 years old, and you need to lose a little weight. You want some more energy. You want to get back out there feeling really, really good. So my daughter and I decided that we were going to take a look at Isagenix, which this year is a 20-year-old health and wellness company. And when I looked at, and this is not going to be a commercial here, but when I looked at the nutrition, I looked at the way that I could lose the weight I wanted to lose. I looked at the fact that I could have more energy. I could live a healthy aging lifestyle. And I could also share that with other people. And to me, that made such a huge difference. Because, Barbara, there's so many companies out there that just sell products. But when I looked at who I could help, the culture of the company and the support I was going to get, that package came together for me. And when I look at what I could have given my husband for nutrition those last couple of years, and I didn't know about this, what it said to me is there are other people out there that need to know how they can live a healthy living lifestyle. And Fabulous Begins at 50 really came from a woman that I was talking to one day This was before Zoom, on the phone, told her what I was doing. And she said, and I had just started with LinkedIn. I didn't have a banner. And she said, she was in marketing, and she said, I'm going to make you a banner. And Barbara, I went, oh my God, what's this going to cost me? And at that point, I was just starting out. I didn't have a lot of budget for marketing, but she was so kind. She made this beautiful banner, and on it said, fabulous begins at 50. And I thought, wow, am I narrowing my niche? But, the more I think about it, Barbara, when we're 50, our lives are changing. We're physically changing. We're empty nesting. We're getting divorces. I mean, our whole lives are changing, but the body's changing also. So I thought, well, if I say fabulous begins at 50, is someone who's 30 or someone who's 70 going to want to talk to me? But the more I think about it, if you're a mom and you're 50 and you're feeling good because you're using all the things that I'm talking to you about, and I never shop on anybody's wallet, but I do talk, and I do a pre-interview to make sure that, I don't want that earned interview either, an assessment of what their real needs are. So if I'm 50 and I'm feeling good and I've got children at home, or I'm sandwich generation like my daughter is, then if those products are feeling good for making me feel good, am I not going to share them with my family?
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course.
So, if you've got kids that are going out to school in the morning and they're not eating breakfast and they're not learning, so we want to give them something to do that. I have people that I went to high school with that I just consider myself so fortunate. I don't have all those ailments, if you will. And I turned 80 in December, and we had a great big birthday party. And I had 2 parties, as a matter of fact, one with friends, and it was just amazing. So for me, to stay healthy, live a healthy aging lifestyle is something that I will hopefully continue on for another 80 years.
Yes. I mean, you're a walking billboard, Lorraine. You're a walking billboard. If no one doesn't say, okay, I look at this lady, she's looking wonderful. She doesn't look nowhere near 80. And you look, I mean, everything, like you said, no ailments, no like health issues. I mean, you are just a walking billboard. So if somebody sit there and say, well, if they're even thinking about it, about, working with you or getting, consulting from you, something's wrong with them. Something's definitely wrong.
Well, I feel too, Barbara, that it would be selfish for me not to share what I have with other people. People are allowed to make their own decisions. And I just had someone sign up on Sunday that I've been talking to for about the weight management program for at least 3 to 5 years. And it's always been one excuse after another. I'm getting on a plane. I only do things 3 days and then I stop. I mean, I looked at him, and believe me, his son needs it even more. But I didn't say that to him. I just looked at him and I said, this is the day. Are you ready? And he said, okay, tell me what to do, and just tell me what I need to order. He never asked how much it was going to cost. The only thing I asked him is, what flavor shakes do you want? And what flavor chocolates do you want? And it was done. I came home, I put his order in. He'll have it in this big box because he took the value pack, which has everything he's going to need, including these amazing vitamins. So it's timing. It's all timing. And because I say something to you today and you tell me, get back to me in a year, I'm going to get back to you in a year. But when we're ready, because we can't make a decision on our health if we're not ready.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Now, I know one of the things that I noticed on your website, you have a model where it states consistency is the key to every and all aspects of our lives. And I now wake up each day with the growing passion to mentor, teach, and show all those around me how once you believe in yourself, you can create the best life possible. How do you fulfill that like mission, that vision that you have within your business? Because that's powerful.
Well, like I said, I do an assessment when I sit down with someone, and, if their goal is to lose weight or to have better hair, skin, and nails, better better digest. I mean, whatever it happens to be, then I don't know if I'm answering your question because that was a long one and I forgot I wrote that a while ago.
It's powerful. Yeah, because you're basically saying that you get up, just like you said earlier, you get up every day, wanting to mentor, teach, and show others around you, once they believe. So I think you mentioned it with even the guy, you had to just, it gets to that point.
Well, for me, I know how I start my day. I get up in the morning, I take my collagen, I have my protein shake, I take my vitamins. I just, it's ingrained in me. It has become my lifestyle. And when people say to me, oh, I don't want to go on a diet, I say, that's amazing. I'm not going to put you on a diet. We're going to just change your lifestyle. You're going to have a couple of shakes. You're going to replace a couple of meals. You're going to have some snacks. You're going to sit down with your family at night and have a dinner. I had one of my people that's on the weight management. She messaged me yesterday. I love it. She goes, I went out to dinner with my husband, and then I got up the next morning and I had a huge breakfast, but I'm going to start all over again tomorrow. And I said, that's exactly the way it works. Don't beat yourself up, because we don't tell you you can't deprive yourself of something that you want. But instead of eating an 8-inch piece of cake, have a 2-inch piece of cake or a couple of bites. I know I started in December 16th, 3 days before my birthday and right before Christmas. And I tell everybody I had mashed potatoes and I had stuffing and I had gravy on Christmas. I didn't give up anything. Yeah, the next day I was right back at it again. So it's all in what you want, Barbara. It's what are you willing to do to live a healthy, vibrant life?
Well, like you just said, Lorraine, I like how, I don't like the diet word either.
I hate it.
I hate it. And, everybody always says there's a word die in it. And, when you say changing your lifestyle, that's what I like, because like you said, you are changing your lifestyle to a more healthier way of looking at things.
Exactly. Yeah. It's when we first started 8 years ago, you couldn't have coffee. Well, that blew a lot of people's minds. Now you can have a glass of wine, you can have coffee. You don't have to give up something that you love. But I think we all learn to live in moderation. I have someone that's going through, she just had some colon surgery. And she has the I call it the bag, whatever when you call it. But what she's telling me is that I've learned to eat slower, chew better, and eat less at a time. So she didn't have to stop her life. She just had to moderate it, or whatever that word is, a little bit, to change her temporary lifestyle. She's not going to live with it forever. So I think we all have to make adjustments, but it's how much do we want whatever it is that we want?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And I love how you said, because it's not just like you're saying, just as the food, but how you, kind of go by doing it. Like you told her, as you eat it in little quantities, you don't have to just eat. Because I know a lot of people say the old sayings, like in your family, eat everything on your plate, or, all that is in your head. And then you get older, it's like, you're still having those habits, and it's not so, and then chew, some people like, and then they're done, all that, like they just scuff it all up in their mouth. But like you said, take the time to chew it, just enjoy it,
I know. It's so it's interesting how people's lives change, and it's not all about weight loss. We have so many ways that we can support and help people. Our new marine collagen, I've been using it for a year now. My hair, my skin, my nails, the dark spots on the backs of my hands have lightened up. Wow. We have a new Korean science-based skincare line that just came out, and it's like silk. It's just so amazing. And today, oh my God, I can't stand it. We're launching our hair revival system.
Wow.
So it's not just for people that want to get new hair growth. I mean, the beta test the results are staggering. And it's, everything is science-based with this company, but the things that people are saying about the hair that have been just using it for a month, my hair is so silky. I'm getting new hair growth. I'm not losing a bunch of hair in my brush. I mean, these just things are just, when I found this company 8 years ago, we didn't have those three things.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can serve more people with more ways to have better health. It's just, I mean, I want to cry sometimes because I have so much that I want to share. It truly is in my heart. I get up every single morning looking at how can I serve someone today?
And see, and it was funny because I was going to go right into, being this type of health and life, lifestyle field. I know there's a lot of other type of coaches, consultants, and what makes you different. And I'm guessing now, I'm putting this out there, is that because, not saying that they don't have a heart, but you really have a heart. I mean, you show up every day. You're consistent with what you're doing. You believe in it. You're just not just trying to sell a product. I mean, that's what I see from you. And that's what really, gets me to say, you know what, Lorraine is the one. So what do you think makes a difference for you?
Well, first of all, a lot of people will say to me, what's the difference with your collagen? What's the difference with your shake? What's the difference with blah, 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 whatever product it happens to be? Mm-hmm. The only thing I can tell them is I'm not going to compare, and I'm not going to judge what you're currently using or what you want to try. The only thing I'm going to tell you is these are our ingredients. This is our science. And this is how they have worked for me and thousands of other people that are using the product. And because there's a 30-day money back guarantee, Barbara, somebody starts with something and they don't want it or they don't like it. Or, I mean, I've had people find that, there just might be an ingredient that just doesn't resonate with them or they can't use. Well, the company's going to give them their money back. Within 30 days, there's no question. They don't ask you to send the products back. They just say, okay, here's your money back. And a lot of times, if it's a product that I'm personally using, and most of the time I use all of them anyway, I'm going to buy it from them. So it's a win-win. There is no risk when you become part of my preferred customers or you become part of my team, sharing your success with the products with other people. And the last 8 years, I mean, I've shared so many people with so many products and helping them share with their friends, their relatives, their strangers. Most of the people that I deal with are strangers. I've never met them before. We've connected somewhere. I mean, I was at a networking event the other day and I probably have 30 new people.
See, that's
because it was a women's networking group. So today I'm going to get on and I'm going to send them all an email. How would you like to connect? Would you like to do phone call? Would you like to do Zoom? Would you like to meet for coffee? I'm not assuming they want to do anything with me, but I want to know who they are. I want to know what they do. It's important for me to know who you are because I can't help you if I don't know you.
Yeah.
And it's not about all selling either. I mean, I have hundreds of people that I've talked to, we've shared, and have never decided to do anything with me. But that's okay. I've learned from them and they've learned from me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I always say everybody's might not be your client. It's just you can be their business partner. You can collaborate with each other. You become friends. So I always tell people just don't look at networking as that trying to get those clients, because I feel like you're going in the wrong way when you do that. Because eventually, if the universe is going to help you out, and the clients are supposed to be your clients will be your clients, and then you'll get the friends, you'll get the building of business relationships. So it's a wonderful thing about networking and making sure you just have that. You just want to get to know others. You just want to build that relationship. So go ahead.
Yeah. So you use the word collaboration. Back a few years ago, I wouldn't take the time to talk to someone in another network marketing business in my industry. But you know what I've learned recently, the last, let's say, year? I don't have everything. And these other people don't have everything. So I have purchased products from a wellness company that has a lot of household cleaning products. So I use her products to clean my house. She uses my collagen because her company doesn't have collagen. I have another person, I use their hair products because they don't have collagen. I've got people that I put on the weight loss program, the weight management program, and I've used their products. So my house is, my grandson went back to college this semester with uh, an acne system because he suffers terribly. He's 20 and it's so sad. But I sent him back with a system from one of those companies. And he messaged me, Granny, I just love the way this feels and it's working. I didn't have that acne quote product at that time. Our collagen does help with acne and he's using that now. But this was, I'm always looking to support someone else in our industry. It's really, really, and it's tough out there. It really is tough out there right now.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask you too, because it is, especially in this type of industry too, and things are changing and everything. So I'm glad that you're doing this for people so they know that there's things out there that can help them and you'll work with them. And I was just going to add to that too, like you were saying, it's one thing to say they buy the product and they're like, oh, this ain't going to work. But I always ask this question to them. I'm like, have you really, like you said, believe in it? Have you really took the time to do what's needed? Because I always tell people, if you don't follow instructions of what you're saying and how to do things, of course it's not going to work. I mean, just think about it, Lorraine. If you're not, anything that we get in life, if we don't follow certain things or do certain things, then yeah, you're not going to get the outcome that you really want.
So this man said to me Sunday, he said, I'm getting on a plane. I went, oh my God, you're going to do that to me again? You're going away again. He said, I need to lose 15 pounds before I go on this flight. And I said, okay, I'm going to order it today. It'll ship. It'll probably ship today. And he'll have plenty of time because another customer of mine, he lost 20 pounds in his first part of his journey. So I just said, no more excuses. No more excuses. So, but he didn't put that 15 pounds on in 20 days.
And that's what that's what you have to tell people. It takes a long, it took you a while to get the weight on. It's going to take you some time to get. It's not going to go, just vanish. If that was the case, a lot of people. I
know, and it's not all of, like I said before, it's not all about weight management. It's so many other things that I can support people's lifestyle with.
Yes, definitely. Now, Lorraine, because of time, I always like to before we discuss how they can contact you, I want to take myself down for 30 seconds and then you can give some lasting thoughts for the audience. And then I'll come back up and then we'll get people to see how they can contact you.
Okay. So I love Barbara. She's amazing. And I watch how she interviews other people. But really what I want to say to you is, what do you want for your lives? How do you want to live? If you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, how do you want to live the last 10, 20, 30 years of your life? If you are a mom and you've got little kids and they're not learning as well as you think they should, I'm just in the middle of doing an event right now that's teaching people different ways to support their children in their learning habits and how they're doing things. But truly, what I'm looking for is a conversation. Let's just schedule a phone call, schedule a Zoom. If you're in the Connecticut local area to me, let's schedule coffee. The only thing that I can do for you is have that conversation to learn about what it is that you're looking to be successful at. And I'm also looking for people that are looking to make an additional stream of income. Statistics show that $500 a month can really keep a family from maybe even going bankrupt. So if it's something that you're looking for, $50, $100 a month, you want to share your success with the products, because that's how we all start, because obviously we can't support and talk to people about and talk about how something works if we haven't used it ourselves. So if you know someone who is looking to make an additional stream of income, if you know someone who's looking, like we talked about, to change their lifestyle, to live a more vibrant life, I'm willing to share my gift of life, because the last 8 years have made such a huge change, not just on me, but my family. So that's what I'm looking for. And I hope you will all reach out to me. Barbara, we're going to put the links in the group. I don't know how you do that. You're muted, Barbara.
They're going to have to X that out. So yes, I will make sure that they get the information for you. But if you could just tell them one way to reach you now.
So I'm on LinkedIn. So you can message me on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn. It's Lorraine M. Sanborn. I am also on Facebook. You can certainly reach me on Facebook. Just send me a message or send me a friend request and I will accept it. There's a couple of other ways, but Barbara will put all those in the group. Thank you so much for having me today. It is just such a pleasure to be with you. You make life so easy for me. Thank you.
Oh, and you do the same for me as well, Lorraine. And like she said, please reach out to this wonderful, wonderful queen. I mean, she has, made my life a difference. Just knowing her, what she's doing for people, what she's showing up for people. And that's what it's all about. So just like Lorraine is showing up for others, you need to show up for yourself too. And that's what we're just saying, is because we want you to live a healthy and lovely life and wonderful life. And we only get one. So just make sure that we do that well. And Lorraine can help you out. So Lorraine, thank you again for coming on the
Welcome.
Lounge. And we will see each other soon. You take care. And I wish you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful blessings.
Thank you. Right back at you, Barbara. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? I am so ecstatic and I'm so happy because I have another woman that is rocking the world and creating impact to everyone out there, especially when it comes to athletes and getting to the next level. Now, I'm about to talk about, Monique's about to talk to us, but I just want to say thank you, Queen. And I call Lady Queens, as everybody knows on this show, because you are rocking your empire. We're going to talk about a little bit more on what you're doing, especially in this area. And I love what you're doing. So let me just first say Monique A.J. Smith is a wonderful, wonderful entrepreneur, and she's helping in the leadership world strategically with athletic development. And she's going to get a little bit more into that. The name of her company is Seeds. I love this name. Seeds of Empowerment. Just saying it that slow just was like, yes, you just feel that. And she's a power pack woman. So she is rocking it. And we're going to get to know her a little bit more. And I welcome you, Monique, to the Coaching Lounge show today. How you doing, lady?
Thank you so much. I have been waiting for this, and I'm so glad to be here with you.
Oh, well, I've been waiting for it too. Because one thing about it, when I hear about empowerment, influencer, mentor, and Monique, it all comes together.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we need more people. I always say we need to multiply people like you. We do.
Well, and I would say that has been my goal as well.
Okay.
Planting seeds. My slogan is planting seeds of empowerment to lead others to greatness. And so
it all sinks in. It all sinks in.
Mm-hmm.
So Ms. Monique, I know we met through another acquaintance of ours, both of our coaches in a sense. And I love the networking because when you meet people, especially like-minded people like ourselves, you get to grow and you get to come into each other's world.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I love to do is I like to give visibility, especially to the queens, to the women. And when you were talking about what you do, especially for leadership with the athletics and developing them, I was like, ooh, that's different. And when I hear something different, it really piques my ear. And I know that people need to hear about it. So how long have you been doing what you do with the leadership? And then, about working with each other. And just tell us how you started out in that area.
Well, I just want to clarify. I work with leaders in athletic departments in sport organizations. I don't work directly with the athletes. And so my specialty is Black women in athletic administration. And the reason being, I'm 54 and I've been in the business since I was in college. I was an intern, but since the age of 22. And so there were very few women in athletic administration back in the early 90s. And so fast forward 20 years, I became associate commissioner for the CIAA. And again, one of the first in a specific role that put me in the limelight of being a senior women's administrator, which is like the number 2 person, with a number 1 woman, but the number 2 or number 3 inside the organization. And the power, let me use the word influence that you have sometimes becomes pressure that you put on yourself because, which we're dealing with this with the football. You become a minority and everybody's excited about it. But then if you leave, they don't replace you with somebody who looks like you. So, you cannot, it's not just for you and your time. It's about the legacy behind you. And so I spent 30 years in athletic administration. My first job was sports information director at St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Virginia. Then at 28, I was named athletic director by default because I went through 5 different athletic directors. And yeah, it was interesting. Wow. And I got the call doing, I was working the Olympics in Atlanta. And the president tracked me down and said, I would like for you to serve as athletic director. And an interim basis, let's be clear, is to protect you. And I was like, okay, let me think about it. He was like, well, just hold on, let me think about it. And the bomb went off that night. And I said, life is short. I better go ahead and take this and learn on a job like a man would. So that's what I did. And I remained in that position for 2 years. I went to Division I. I became the compliance director of Division I institution. So I gave up the role as athletic director. And that was a twist in itself. But the Lord had a different plan. I became associate commissioner for the CIAA, like I mentioned. And I remained there for 13 years. I came there as PR director, was promoted several times while I was there, from director of championships, director of governance, and eventually chief of staff. But the one thing about my job I enjoyed the most was professional development. And one of the things that I'm just real transparent about it, I wrote a chapter right before the pandemic in a book called Public Figure Mask. And mine was dealing with being a public figure and taking the mask off and kind of sharing the stress of being a female leader in a male-dominated field and the
Mhm.
pressures that you go through. And a high achiever depression looks different. It
Mhm.
looks like you just stay so busy that you just don't want to feel. It's like you don't even want to go home because your house is a mess, because you don't do that very well, but you do really well by planning events and,
Mhm.
and running meetings and championships. But if something should happen there, you're off balance because you don't have the other balance.
Mhm.
And so me knowing that and experiencing that, I can see it with other women, which is what I do in my
Mhm.
executive coaching. I do a
Okay.
lot of head work first and then skill work.
Yes,
And
I like that.
I mean, in helping them be better leaders and how to communicate. And that's what I do by doing the staff retreats. So I go to the athletic departments and
Mhm.
whatever their need is. Like right now, the need is talking about our playing field is expanding. You know, there's no more than just coaching anymore, just for X's and O's and W's and L's. You know,
Mhm.
you got the COVID. You know, how many kids have experienced loss, whether
Mhm.
it's people, seasons, abilities, all of that. And
Yes.
then we have name, image, and likeness. Kids now can get money before they become professional. Okay. And
Mhm.
then we got social justice, you know? And so you thinking you just want to come and coach and you know, these are distractions. No, these aren't distractions. These are things that you must be
Mhm.
aware of. So I'm teaching that, which is all about leadership. So
Mhm.
I hit a wall, literally and figuratively, like in 2002,
Mhm.
and I went to counseling, and the
Mhm.
counselor said you need to be around other women like you, and I was like, there aren't. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, there's women there, but they're looking up to me,
Yeah.
and so I began to have retreats. And I would bring a facilitator in to deal with issues that I would hear over the years. And, you know, they're having which I still hear today, they're having issues saying they don't want to be dealing with politics. And they don't
Mhm.
understand politics is nothing but a game. And if we're in athletics and we're in sports, you deal with games all the time. Why can't you understand this?
That's a
So,
good analogy. I like
oh
that.
yeah, you know, and winning, I say it's like spades. So, you know, you can win a hand even if you don't have spades in your hand. If you know how
Mhm.
to play your cards.
Okay,
If you know how
card.
to play off, hold it, and then play your heart, your you know, and your queen of hearts, and you got to know how the cards feel.
Yes.
So you spend your time building relationships with people with your face cards. So a book is an issue. So if
Mhm.
you spend your time with higher relationships, you don't have to necessarily play the hand. You let the
Mhm.
people play the hand for you, you
Mm.
know? And that's what you need to, instead of standing at the water cooler and saying, oh, that ain't right. And why are we doing this? Da, 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 da. Spend your time. And so I constantly, I told you, everything I do is like mind work first, head
Mhm.
work, mindset, growth mindset versus fixed mindset.
Mhm.
Because how you respond to a no and negativity has a lot
Mhm.
to do with how you advance.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I had the retreat, I'll be able to see who had leadership potential. I was able to put them on committees and help them get to the next, and then have individual meetings where, okay, now look, you need to fix your face. You know, everybody knows what you're thinking. You know, uh, stop hanging out with so and so because that's negativity. And I just became known as a person that could help a, a woman get that position. And I began, and you asked the question, how long you been doing this? So in 2005, I was invited to do a Division III conference for women, and I was just helping somebody else out. Somebody else couldn't do it, and it was right
Mhm.
30 minutes for me. I said, "Sure, I do it." And then she said, oh, well, I was going to pay her so and so. Is that okay to pay you that? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And I did my taxes. And the city of Hampton said, you owe us some business taxes because you claimed this on your taxes. So in
Mhm.
2005, I became a business. But in 2013, I began to do it full time. And so that's what I do. I travel across the country working with athletic departments, sports organization, and individual coaching with individuals who wants to advance athletic administration or the marketplace.
Mm. And you know, you've seen what I love about what you did. I mean, first of all, kudos to everything that you've done, you know, moving to that level. But I love that you've seen the niche and you said, you know, this is something that's unique, different, but something I like to do. And I think I'm just going to keep going with this. And then, like you said, I always say the universe talks to us and it brings us things, and it brought you certain things to build on. And now that you're to your own business, now that you're doing with this, because when you first talked to me about this, I said, wow, I never really heard of like a leadership coach with not just like the athletes, but with, you know, people that are trying to move to the next level in a leadership role. And I said, that's needed, especially now, especially with women, especially with Black women. So I love that you took that niche. You said, this is a need, and let me see what I need to do. And now you're prospering in it. So wonderful. That is just as amazing. Now, I'm thinking, now you said a little bit about the title of your business, which I love, the idea, Seeds of Empowerment. So just a little bit of can you give us a definition of what that just popped up in your head, how you decided to do that?
Well, again, I said we have retreats and I have a facilitator, and she taught us, because I was participating as well as hosting it, that you need to have a slogan of what you do. And so I'm from the country. We lived on a farm, but we rent the farm out. My father was an English teacher. My mother is a retired librarian. As you can see, books. So seeds to me are reads. All right. And so, and I might not, I plant seeds. I don't tell you what to do. I plant seeds. So it may not take root right then, but later on you remember what I said. Like somebody today just told me, you believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And this person now works for United States Olympic Committee, you know?
See?
And when I met her, she was doing her own consulting business. And I was trying to say, look, and she was a mental health professional for sports. And I said, I need you to write this contract for the school. They need you. You know, they don't have enough money to hire a person, but they can hire a contract person. Man, when I tell you, now that's one thing I will say. I'm very persistent. I'm not. And so, and she was like, and so we went to a conference together. And we're sitting down, and I have connecting events whenever I travel. So I had another lady who's one of my clients, and she worked at an institution, and we had breakfast. And she said, you know, my institution is looking for a sports psychologist.
Okay.
And she says, and we're opening it back up because we didn't have good candidates. She didn't ask her to apply. She said, do you have any recommendations? Now, this is a woman we had a conference called Black Student Athlete Summit. And we're sharing. We actually, she asked me to co-present with her somewhere. So we were in a hotel room together, and she had no desire to go on athletic department. Next thing I know, this happened in January. In April, she says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm so excited. I went for an interview, got it. I'm going there to go pick up my house right now. My family and I are moving." I was like, "Whoa." You know, and so it's the connections, it's the seed, you know, to have you look at things differently, change your perspective. And then again, seeds of empowerment, because again, you're empowered to take that change.
Yes.
And I'm leading you to greatness. I'm staying right here. You go ahead.
What you said, I put that seed in. Now you got to, but you just showed it. Like you just told the other lady where she came back to you and you said, you know what, if it wasn't, you know, what you told me, that I wouldn't be now where she's at now. So it's one thing to put the seeds there, but then I think the secret sauce that you have, that I'm not going to say, I'm just putting this out there, that when you say seeds of empowerment, it's already sprouting to that next level. And you're proving that with the seeds that you're planting, because you're getting that feedback back from the ladies. And that's, I'm telling you, it takes certain people to do that. So you're transforming lives, lady. Transforming.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's what's needed right now. I mean, especially with all this going on, we need. I told you we need to multiply you.
Well, I have to give God all the glory, honestly, because I had a session before we met, because I have this magazine, and it's called Significance in Athletics and Sports, and so I was preparing my next person for my next article, and I don't know what I said. She said, "Oh, that was just great what you just said." I said, "I take no credit. It was a download for God, so God gets all the glory." I mean, honestly, I just try to I try to shut up long enough to hear the download. Okay.
Well, I hear you on that about I had to shut the mouth so I could hear the downloads because I could be like dee, 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 dee.
Yeah.
And then God is like, I'm trying to get your attention here. but he got your attention and you're just doing wonders. Like I said, in the area that people don't really know how important it is until I really heard it. And that's where, like you said, we need to listen more. Like women like what you're doing, because then you say, oh, I didn't know. Oh, I need that. See, you don't know what you don't know. But when you find out, I tell people, and I'm putting it out there for the people that's going to be watching this, that this is not just get to know Monique, but reach out to Monique. Just a little tad that I want to put in there. But moving forward, Miss Monique, the one thing I want to ask too is, being, a coach, especially in the industry that you're in, you're the leadership for those people that's trying to move to the next level. What is like a little bit different than what you do of the norm? I know you're a more unique type of coach, but what do you do that's a little bit different flavor than others?
Well, most people come to me, let's just be clear. People come to me because they want to get a job.
Okay.
And they say, do you know so-and-so? Okay, that's the one type of person. The second person is the person who just lost their job, which is very difficult because, number one, you're trying to hold your money because you don't know when your next paycheck is coming. That's why I started a magazine. Let us use expert marketing to get your expertise out there before it's needed. Because with me, I've been a consultant since 2005. So when I got my pink slip in 2013, my name was already out there. The NCAA took me on as a consultant, and I was able to do leadership workshops under their umbrella. And then until they said, well, we're not going to pay you, but you can still do them. The schools will pay you. And I'm going like, bet I can charge more. Thank you. So you got it. And my expertise was out there already for women in Title IX. And most of the women who were athletic directors, said I got my start, from Monique and her leadership. So that's the little thing I do differently is I try to push expert marketing, get your name out of it. Like even before like the road I'm in now, I would push all my people, and I did it to guys too, to get on NCAA committees, or I would put them on a conference committee, and I'm like, okay, I'll be here to tell you how to do it, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna be the face. So it's like do it afraid. So the same thing when I do, like young lady I just talked to today, she really wants to get. She's a number 2 person. She wants the number 1 spot, and the number 1 spot is about to come open. So she's wise enough to know she needs to get her expertise out there. Okay. But the thing is, based on my experience, you have to be careful that even though you've done a lot, the people see you as a leader, as a visionary, versus the manager and the busy bee. And this is something I experienced. You can run all the championships, create all of the marketing materials. They're only going to see you as the manager or the busy bee. But, people will say something like, okay, well, he's gone golfing, or she's, he's never here. Because when he's golfing, his mind is clear and he can plan out his visionary solving issues. You got to have a clean slate to be able to see things and prepare. And people don't realize that. And that you can this is something I've noticed. Narrow minds see it like this. And narrow minds have a problem about delegation because they feel like you're just passing it on. But that's what leaders do. Leaders delegate. And I always say, I'm sorry, that's what leaders do. And I'm so sorry you're not one.
I love it. I love your boldness. It so works. And you need that. You need that.
Because they're complaining.
They're complaining.
And I'm like, it's just the same thing in the business side. I was just using that to explain to my client tonight. It's like when you say in the business sense, you get it. Me sitting here making Canva flyers does not mean revenue producing activities. Mm-hmm. So you need to have somebody else doing that so that you can sit here and plan out or make that phone call relationship, or go to that golf tournament to be able to make that connection, because you get further together collaboration than you are sitting and doing yourself. So from a corporate perspective, you have to explain it because I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how many secretaries think they can do their boss's job because they say they're doing everything. You're not doing the most important thing. Even if we're talking about on the spiritual side. Remember Martha was pissed off with Mary?
Yeah.
And what did Jesus say? She's doing the most important thing.
Yeah.
Which is sitting at my feet.
And learning.
Right. And so that's the same thing as meditating and doing your devotions and being so you can hear the downloads. You up here fussing about the menu and the nameplates where everybody's supposed to sit. You know what I'm saying? You all into all the movement and you're not being a leader.
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of, again, I get into that after I do the mindset.
I love how you said, because one thing, I don't care what you do, you have to deal with that mind first. Yeah. Because you don't know, and I was just going to ask you too, get into your sweet spot as far as what you do for your, your clients, is that you don't know where their head's at right then and there. It's like, it could be all over the place, but you have to say, okay, we got to come together and I have to really get to know what's going on so we can work this thing out, what you're trying to get to. So I was going to ask you about that.
Well, it's funny because I remember what I said tonight. I said, we got to get over, we want to get better and we want to get over this bitterness. And so I could hear her concern about being passed over and anticipation of being passed over again. And so I was saying to her that instead of saying what you did, tell them the results that you created, because that's what leaders are looking for. Yeah. They're looking to see, okay, you did this activity, but does it match with the strategic plan? Do you even know what it was? I know you saw something that needed to get fixed, but did the fix go fix something on the bottom line? And that's how you have to think, because I mean, I've said this over again. I've been a leader since I was a teenager, but I was SJ president in high school. I learned real early at 18 that I didn't know I was supposed to tell the advisor my great ideas. I just went straight to the principal and said, this is what we want to do. And and I didn't let her know. I didn't know anything about none of that. I was like, okay, I'm it. Let's go do it. So I learned early at 18 that you better understand the relationships, because you can get blackballed and don't even know you got blackballed and why you got blackballed. And people, and I can tell this often with the women, and they don't know that's what's happening to them. It's like you are too familiar. Okay. And then from a sociology standpoint, you're privileged and you're entitled, but you don't know that because you grew up having access to the president, having access to the principal. Both my parents were school teachers, so this was Uncle so-and-so, Aunt so-and-so. So I didn't have any fear. I was like, okay, how about this idea? But to somebody else, oh, isn't she arrogant? She just think that she can go and she don't have to follow protocol. I know there was a protocol.
Because if you don't know,
Right.
and it's really bad, like you said, they don't tell you. So it's
No.
you're already on this blackball list because I've been there in
I mean, why
corporate.
you think you would get to tell a kid though? You see what I'm saying? Why? I mean, that's a conversation you would have with your colleagues. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking at the same level as a teacher or an advisor, and I'm a kid, and I don't know I'm supposed to think like a kid. So when you're a leader, you don't know, and I had to learn this too. I mean, I have more respect for the younger minds and the diversity of thought. Because I teach at Hampton University sports management courses. And I tell them all the time, like, have diversity of thought because that's how we have an iPhone now. That's how we have Uber. This is how there's somebody that said we need to be doing so and so. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't somebody that was my age who did it. So I'm saying don't be silent. Be strategic about how you share your information. You know, understand the players and I mean, who do you share that with?
Yeah.
I have a membership portal called the Advanced Academy. That's what I do to the executive coaching piece. And so I say we gotta be strategic chicks. You know, that's a book. And then what's the other one? I even looked at who's the lady from Georgia running for governor.
I can't think of it.
She's from Georgia, and she's the one that helped get the vote out. She has a book called Minority Report. All of these tell you must know who your players are, and sometimes you have to use them to get your message across.
That makes sense. I mean, when you think about it, that makes sense. I
Yeah,
mean,
it does, but we don't think that way.
We don't think that way. So that's why back to, like you said, you do the mindset. And then after that, you talk about the structure part of it, which I love.
Yeah.
Yes, it connects the dots. Well, lady, I want to, before we sign off, I want to give you 30 seconds. I'm going to take myself down for 30 seconds. And I want you to give some lasting impressions to the audience. And then we'll be back up again.
Okay. What am I supposed to be doing? I'm so sorry. That was fast. Tell me
I'm sorry. No, I just wanted you to leave some lasting impressions for the audience. I'm going to take myself down for 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, got you. Well, it has been a pleasure to be with Barbara on this platform. I believe that collaboration is we get further together. And so even if athletics is not your thing, be able to connect with somebody else in your industry and share and be able to go further. And number two, community is important. And this time of mental health, mindfulness, the uncertainty, that's what you need. Do not suffer in isolation. And so I believe in that. And then thirdly, seeds are reeds. And so I'm glad to share my book, that's publicfiguremass.com, where I do cover my athletic administrative journey and some of the tools I used dealing with being a female in a male dominated field, and how I soared after I went to therapy.
Wow. So thank you so much, Monique. Now, please let them know where they can contact you.
Well, I like to communicate on LinkedIn. That's where I like to communicate. So you can just find me at Monique A.J. Smith. Monique A.J. Smith.
And we will make sure with this interview that is put down on the bottom so they can make sure to get to you for the services that you do. And thank you. I just so honored to be with you today and interviewing and just getting to know you. Like I tell people with the coaching lounge, we get to know these wonderful coaches, consultants, because when you think about it, you could be a speaker and author, which is awesome. We all are too, both of us. But when you can really do that empowerment, the seed of empowerment, got that? In somebody's life, That's a whole nother direction of being an influencer in the world. So thank you again, Monique, for being an influencer, helping out women that's in need of that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.
Mm-hmm.